total mar other rings. El alta mag the master takshara PNSB. Mak mo nga may gamastri ito mo omo ulo. Malingit total.
Mau research malamu lagi buku terma media mana office di buku satu terma media sendiri mau buku terma kita satu terma media terma presiden sendiri sudah mengirimkan nabi dan vice president sendiri pada trainer ma members academy akhirnya kalau terma media satu terma media Attract Senator President Senate President Mr. Hopkins Congress, Malaki Senator Sidi, Madila Ranchman at sa mga member Speaker House, Delegate Dixon Kanay, Malaki Senator. Sila kalukot kama mebubuda sa suso kama member ito doon Maraklay, Marubugol Benao, Madila Ranchman at sa mga member Binglong, Ebidaklay, Manasin Benao. Selma Mulgo, Ebubuda sa suso kama member Raja Kalapagos, Speakers, Once again, may si Palma Ramiro will have a message orange, marami sa Dr. de la Titaw, Amori, and we will be interviewing 4 Palauans and sila nga speaker nila. Sila utang actor recipient Tersel honor award del overseeing Palau National Scholarship Board del award that the Palau Fellowship Award, also known as the Internship Award. So tiang available el mortigel nga rebelal nga raskula tay nga reker belau tira juniors going on their senior year, current seniors, recent graduates. Masila apply nga ligel mangay Yapor tamo harawat tiket ringin merbelau. En Orior 8 weeks. Sila pinggil obviously niya related and more still mature ngira school. Al sa sige del 8 weeks. Yapor ta video kalmo award ringin. Al sa sige del 8 weeks. Yapor ta video kalmo harar niya 400 del bi-weekly stipend. So after sige del 8 weeks intern na ginom na receive for a stipend that totals out to $1,600. But so kung ma-recipient recent graduate in di malarsel one-way ticket in Merbelaw, aso mo continuing student, kung round trip ticket man sa PNB Orior, emutin mo sel balul nga raskuling mong lumlamya school. Amok tira programa wa dolas mal mga suser tiragi del rangalgal belal nga sa April Belaw, mas sabihin mo til May, Orior lang nga sila balwat. So, sige na ka di ka dabal omsoder tegi the program regi. Yakpay mo idi ama igal mortir. Ito mo other started show kartir. So, they can introduce themselves by telling us their names, what state of Palau they're from, if they want to mention what elementary school, high school learning, sabihin hindi na low eyes, singklela tayo nga kalangaringi, masel wal field of mature tier. Field of study tier, sel mature tier school.
Malungit tutaw nga kang klakayol sa Victor nga kaligala Steven Victor Machet Claulaad nga katilob dra Vicente High School 2020 ya last year at June yak tilob dra Ming Chuan University la Taiwan lo bachelor's nga International Business and Trade lo concentration na Human Resource Management Marketing Management.
Ngil tutal nga kang klagalaw uro kanyete nga ka ngalrayray currently studying my bachelor's in civil engineering at Taiwan. Yang akatilo dra Palau High School sa idra 2019.
My name is Risa Ulong. I was born in Hawaii, but my family is from Narbaed and Narard. I only lived in Palau for 2 years, but during that time I went to Mizenti High School, but I actually graduated from Edgren High School, which is in Misawa, Japan. Now I live in Tokyo, and I go to Sophia University, where I'm in my 4th year majoring in international relations. Thank you.
Lugil tutaw ngakang klaka mirang supatiang ngakang ligala sila ngil maharbira tagesi ngakang kaplu rayray ngakatilo betra pala high school 2020 elang ngakang school Taiwan ngakang school Mingchuan University low major international affairs and diplomacy.
Okay, so we can start off with the internship. So can you let us know, Mr. Bruri internship ramira ngaral obis kamurulam tatir wataang and what has been like some of the tasks that you've been doing?
So I currently do my internship at the Palau Core Club company, which is a Japanese-owned company, and it's the parent company of Sakura Restaurant. I intern under the HR department with HR manager Ms. Bessie and HR supervisor Ms. Lubilin Madrio. Some of the tasks I've been able to do a basic HR admin task like timekeeping. I think at first I thought timekeeping was like something you wouldn't do in HR, but it's important that we set employees' timesheets so that when they go over to accounting, they can just process the payment. And it seems like just a simple task, just putting down people's times in a sheet, but you're actually dealing with people's paychecks. So you mess up one number, someone's paycheck is, when the accounting department issues a check, it's not going to be right. So I think that was one of the most intense parts of my internship. I also had the opportunity to be part of the recruitment process. I was able to be part of the sourcing, doing vacancy announcements, and I participated in interviews, virtual and in-person interviews, and then also the new hire process where I helped draft contracts.
So I did my internship at CIP, which is the Capital Improvement Program Division under the Bureau of Public Works. And I went in as a civil engineering intern, and I was my supervisor was Minor West, who was the assistant program manager project manager of CIP. And so some of the tasks that I did during my time there, since I am a civil engineering student, was I got to be part of some of our public infrastructure projects. So one of our club project, there was the Ngaralong State Office project that we were part of. And then as of recently, it's a new project, the repair Hawakan Pact Road. So during the whole time that I was there, I was able to be part of the team, assisting in documentations as well like technical drawings and plans of the project. So yeah.
So I'm interning with the Ministry of State's Bureau of Foreign Affairs and Trade. My supervisor is Director Jeffrey Antol and Chief of the Division of East Asia and Pacific, Simone Esiang Ubede. So mostly what I've been doing right now is drafting intergovernmental and diplomatic notes, which is basically communications between other ministries or to the office of the president or between like Palau and foreign governments or international organizations. So mostly I've just been getting information from emails, putting it into an official letterhead and making it more concise so that we can send it to other agencies. But also I occasionally take calls and draft emails. And I've also been able to attend events like exchange of notes signings, memorandum of understanding signings, so official events between embassies and our Ministry of State. And I also got to sit in on a PIF meeting, a Pacific Islands Forum meeting, which Palau will be hosting later this year. So yeah, that's some of what I've been doing so far.
I think I was here a few months ago, and I'm still interning at the same agency, which is the United Nations Resident Coordinator's Office, or some people know it as the UN office in Palau. My supervisor is the lovely Sharon Sakuma, and some of the things that I've been assigned to do, because my internship has been ongoing since the last time I was here. It's never ended. I've been able to dip my feet in various different work. So I do, sometimes Sharon would have me do official documents from the UN draft, official documents that she then approves and then sends over to our base office in Pohnpei. But aside from that, I'm also one of the younger members of the team in Palau. And because of that, they've sort of assigned me the role of being like the youth focal point in the office. And so all the events or projects or whatever initiatives that the UN and Palau have in terms of the youth, Sharon has assigned me to be sort of like like I said, the focal point. And so I'm responsible for making sure that whatever events are really aligned with the national priorities of the youth of Palau. So I have also been able to sort of dive into the world of coordinating, because it is the residence coordinator's office. With the guidance of Sharon, spearhead a few initiatives in Palau for the youth. So I think that's, in a nutshell, most of the things that I've been doing in the office.
Alright. Maybe we can stay with you. Yeah, we'll start with May. So we'll go on to highlights. I know this is your second time around, but is there like any highlights this time, this internship session, and then what have you learned so far?
Ako sa sumorit rogil experience nga lawyer tel obis lobengela Sharon is in it of itself the highlight of the whole internship. Ang malbato ka black soup, and then because ang akmal mga tata supervisor nga kamal sisi although palgira la super kara tora riora ta dilyo and the government or whatever I can learn from. And she's guided me and allowed for me to be able to, like I said, spearhead a few initiatives. I spearheaded one last summer, and then I'm spearheading one again this summer, which is still in the works, so I can't go too deep into detail about it because it's still in its planning stages. But I think that really is the highlight of my internship. I feel like I wouldn't be able to really gain experience like that just in a classroom. So that's the highlight, I think, for me.
So for me, I'm actually only 2 weeks into my internship, so I think there's a lot more to come. But so far, I've still been doing a lot. So yesterday I got to go to Australia Day, which was the Australia Embassy's celebration of their National Day. And I got to watch a cricket game between Team Australia, which had the Ambassador of Australia, and Team Palau, which had President and First Lady playing cricket. And so that was really cool to watch. So alongside seeing the official documentation and the official processes behind maintaining international relations, I also got to see what it takes to maintain goodwill between two nations. So I thought that was really fun. But overall, it's been a really long time since I've been to Palau, and I'm really grateful. So the overall highlight is just that I get to be in Palau and I get to learn so much just in the 2 weeks that I've been here. Yeah.
And for me, I would actually say that the whole internship has been a highlight. And one of the biggest things was just meeting the people on the CIP team. I genuinely believe that was the whole highlight of my internship. And then I think if I really would have to pick around and see if mga rakaman interesting at part of that internship was I got to be part of the micro project ongoing at the airport runway together other Palau. And so to be part of a team that's dealing with so many people, so many things, $100 million. I think to be interested in a project like that, it was an amazing learning experience, and I got to see how public infrastructure and how public money is used in Palau.
I think the I think the highlight of my internship would be being able to be part of the employee disciplinary action process. I think it's great how they trust me enough to deal with sensitive cases like that within the company. I've also had the chance to sit down in employee service training for the Sakura restaurant, which I thought was necessary for the employees, and HR played a huge part by being the gap between management and the employees.
Recently completed her bachelor's, and then kami was seniors. Would you say the things that you've learned in school you have been able to apply to the work you're doing in your internship areas?
So the employee disciplinary action process that I just mentioned, I was actually able to, the process in doing the paperwork was actually similar to one of a class that I took in my undergrad, Intro to Law. I remember as a business major, I kind of wondered why this was a required class, and when I graduate as someone who wanted to pursue a degree in HR, how would this be necessary? But the whole process of the paperwork is exactly like the case brief that I had to present for my final presentation in that class. So it really kind of did show me that all the courses I take, I may not have to use them right away when I go in the work field, but they are necessary.
So I would say definitely that my coursework has really helped me, and I was able to use it in my internship because also if it wasn't for these classes where I knew how to read, construction drawings and everything, I wouldn't have been able to even do anything at CIP because I wouldn't understand if I got lines, I got symbols, I got ngarabal. So it was just a lot of my coursework I was able to apply into my internship field. It was actually something I didn't think I would need. It was a construction management. So that was a course I took in university. And then when I came into the CIP office, I really saw it come into play more. There's so many things that goes behind a construction project, and there's so many people involved. And it was just, it was interesting to see something that was on textbook being applied in person.
For me, I would say yes and no. I think it was mentioned earlier, but a lot of what you learn during your internship is something you can only get there and not necessarily in a classroom. But I will say that what school has given me is a good foundation or basis knowledge for what I can apply in the real world. So for my major, you have to be up to date on world affairs and the organization of, for example, the UN and stuff like that. So I think school definitely provided me a good foundation, and I definitely have been able to apply that to my internship. Yeah.
I think like Risa, I'm the same. What you learn in your internship, you can't find it anywhere else. And ting aktirakal namti ulo sa ikal loso para school. Amrang haring up tutelel. It goes down even to administrative things like the actual drafting letters and stuff. Ang haring tetelel. When you're talking about diplomacy and foreign affairs, there's etiquettes involved in it. We take etiquette classes in international relations. We take English classes for diplomats and stuff. It trickles down all the way to, like I said, documents and drafting official documents. I have the advantage where I aksilubida school masala pas kakapos nga gyang talibal umbiyot nga compared to if I went in as an internal not timlak nga schooler take the specific field, right? So I think yes, definitely the things I've learned in school have been very beneficial for me, and I've been able to apply some of them in work, and I've also been able to witness some of the things I've learned in school also happen, like Ian said.
So that's all the questions in regards to internship. Now, questions on college. What made you choose the university that you're attending and the major that you're majoring in?
I chose the university. I chose the university I chose.
Yeah.
I'm in. Sorry. So I chose Mingchuan University. Honestly speaking, because at the time when I was applying to Taiwan, there were like a good amount of Palauans studying there, and given that I did not apply for the Chinese language program, I decided to go to a school where there were Palauans who can help me maneuver around the campus and deal with the language barrier. Because prior to going there, I had thought that yes, our classes would be taught in English, but I had assumed that I would have language barrier issues, which kind of did happen along the way. So I'm glad. I chose to study business because I've loved numbers since I think elementary school. And then over the years studying IPT, I discovered HR. And as a person who likes helping people, I thought like this would be the perfect fit where I can still pursue what I wanted, business, and then also have a background in helping people, which is human resource.
So, ngarakot naman Taiwan, I honestly didn't really know what major I wanted to pick. And then it kind of just came around to me. There is a Palawan senior as well who was in National Taiwan University, and she was like, "Hey, there's a civil engineering major, and it's completely in English. So if that's something you're interested in, and then it's something you can pursue." And then like, am I intelligent enough? Am I capable enough to do this? Because you think of engineering, and it's such like a big thing. But then I have always, my whole life, I've always pushed myself to try and do the best that I can, try and achieve the highest that I can. So I just took a bet at it, and I was like, I'm going to do civil engineering. So I think it was just me wanting to push myself to do the best that I can at civil engineering. And then along the way, I really fell in love with it because you're touching, projects and buildings that people are going to live in. You have this sense of like shared responsibility. Will it be safe enough for people? And then National Taiwan University was just a university that offered it for me, and that's why I chose it.
So for me, I actually took a gap year after I graduated high school, and I was already living in Japan, so I decided to take my time to do research, and I knew I wanted to stay in Japan, but maybe move to Tokyo. And I wasn't sure about what I wanted to study, but I narrowed it down to something related to politics and maybe the environment. And I just so happened to find that my university, Sophia University, offers a program which I'm in now. It's called Sophia Program for Sustainable Futures. And so with that, I get to study international relations alongside sustainable development. Yeah.
So nga karakot dal Taiwan yung I did language school for 12 months, and during that period I'm lesa kalose o lome sa school kora o sige raswakal mo rin school. And then I guess one of the reasons why I chose Mingchuan University was because one, I was already in the Mingchuan Language Center, so ngwak already plamongal kartel school na akong na enroll. And so apok apply Mortial University ang taligipin mo biyo nga kasoy sa school. That was one reason. Another reason was the same as Yolsaw. Sumlani nga ang karbela already start school. Ang katalipin na klaro ko mukpong yabo lakot nga mukmakarang itang nga maklaro nga kalse kalultoy tier. One reason that I think I always share to people who ask me why I chose my major is because I don't like numbers. I was looking at all the majors and I was trying to figure out which one of them had the least amount of math classes. And international relations in Taiwan, most of it is talking and negotiation and stuffing. And I think my family and my friends who are listening in or watching on YouTube can attest to the fact that I am I'm a certified yapper. Malulisod tuloy tangarek. And I thought, what better thing for me to do than to major in a major that can help me really sharpen my speaking skills. Since already maltuloy tangarek, I might as well use it for something good, something that can help my country. So, akdira kalkot interested na to kora development travel belaw di osisilta makuran meklo ak namnel mo nga niya baby rablo outside kan maklol belu maba ikang sa lila belaw and so kan mamdel mikal dalong ikal belu makaram mo how do they become friends like that, and then in result ang makarang ikal belu ol nga sir belaw kitong kuk ngara tong mystery in return for the allyship and the partnership. So that was another reason why I chose my major.
All right. So far, with your experience in college, what has been the most challenging part? And then to follow that up, maybe you can also tell us the most positive part.
The most challenging part of college, I think everyone here can all agree with me, is being away from home. But in Taiwan, it gets really hard, especially during Christmas Day and Thanksgiving Day, when people back home are here celebrating the holidays, and then we have to go to school. I think during those times I get really homesick and I wish I'd just be home. And Christmas time usually is around like Taiwan's final exam time. So you really have no choice, but I cannot just sit home and be homesick because I have exams to study for, presentations to prepare for. But the most positive part is I get to live in another country, learn their culture, learn their language, meet new people, not just from Taiwan, but I met people from different countries like Thailand, Indonesia, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, even countries I never even knew existed. So I think that was the most positive part of college.
I think just the same as Yolsao is definitely the most challenging part of being in college, especially in a faraway land in Taiwan, is just being away from my family, from my loved ones and friends. It's a very difficult thing to be, taken out of that into like a completely different culture, different society, different people. So it can be, when I first got there, it felt like a very isolating experience. But then, over the years, I really fell in love with Taiwan. I made a whole, second family there. I met people who I'm so grateful to have in my life right now. So I would say that was a very positive takeaway from it is, again, I got to meet so many people. I got to experience so many different cultures. And as well, over 4 or 5 years, I really got to grow as a person and also as a professional in my future career one day.
So for me, I would say the most difficult part was definitely language barrier and cultural differences. For the most part, my classes are all taught in English, so for the most part, it's pretty easy. But it was actually when I decided to join my school's baseball club because I wanted to play baseball. That I experienced. It was pretty difficult getting used to how strict they can be when it comes to sports, but it was definitely a learning experience for me because I got to learn more about Japanese formal language and the customs that they have when it comes to like respect and respecting your upperclassmen and stuff like that. So I would say that was difficult, but it was still a really fun experience. But the most positive experience for me is that me and my friends were able to start a Pacific Islander club at our school. So now we like maybe once a month hold events, and we have members like from Hawaii and Palau and Pohnpei, Chuuk, all those places. So it's definitely been fun that we have been able to create a Pacific Islander community at my school, even though it's pretty small. But yeah, we still have a lot of fun together.
I think my most challenging experience in university, and I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but it's getting used to other cultures besides my own. You know, sa Belau toral may maklo though different and almost مقمة دلتا سيسي وبلغولو لا تروغوي راتو especially راتو غراروا لو مسما أمول لما get like the values of the Palauan people, even though we're raised different, we're all raised with similar values. You know, it's people from different countries do different things. They respond differently, they react differently, it's just different culturally speaking. And so I think that was my biggest challenge. أمسوبل مو سيغل ديك understand that شو غير بيبي رأذن ذيك تريغ الممسوب لو رير لو بنتريد غير البيبي رأذن قوق مضى the way they operate, right? And so that on top of like every other Taiwanese recipient, I think can attest to being away from home, and then and all I want is just a bottle of water, and it's hard to get that your first time in Taiwan. But aside from the challenges, I think I have even more positive experiences in university. I was able to make friends with people from all over the world. I was able to learn how to be on my own. I was able to learn how to manage my money wisely, even though I can still get a little better at that, if I'm being honest. But also just being able to step out of Palau in itself is one of the most positive things, I think, when it comes to me going to school abroad.
So school is expensive. You guys are all attending schools in Asia. It's different from the States. You don't get financial aid. Can you share if there was any other financial opportunities throughout your college experience that may have helped you with everyday cost of living, Sir Camille? And if you received other scholarships, or were you able to work part-time jobs?
So I was able to study in Taiwan with the help of the ICDF scholarship, and while doing that, I had PNSB support. Thank you, Mori. Thank you, PNSB. And then on top of all that, when I had my free time, so my first year I wasn't kind of able to work because my schedule was hectic. I was still getting used to the country. So my first summer when I decided to stay in Taiwan, I had my first part-time job as an English teacher. I know everybody who as mga Taiwan, kumkarang sa mga Taiwan, like nga radio, they kind of expect us to say giora McDonald or giora like what fast food chain, kind of like nga Miguel. But for us, I think a most common job we all have is teaching English. One, because we are able to speak English, and two, the pay is great. So I taught English my first summer, and then as the years went on, if I had free time, I would sub classes from time to time. And then I had a stable job for a while, still as teaching English. I think that's the only part-time job I've ever held in Taiwan.
So is it appropriate to say the Taiwan government and the Palauan government supported me while I was in college? Because my whole time there in Taiwan, I was under the Taiwan MOFA scholarship, so it really fully covered everything for me. And so also part says scholarship, like if you're a recipient of the Taiwan MOFA and then your university agrees, they lower the tuition rate for you. So I was lucky enough to have like a local student rate. So man enough at Taiwan MOFA scholarship for me, so I didn't need to take on a part-time job. So yeah.
So for me, I took a gap year. So during that year, I worked and I was able to save up some money. Maybe it helped me for my first, maybe second year, maybe. But my school actually waives my tuition. It's kind of complicated, but they used to accept GI Bill, which I would have been able to use. But instead of doing that, they just ended up waiving my tuition. So the only thing my parents helped me pay for is living expenses. And I have 2 part-time jobs that I only do like a couple times a week, but one is tutoring in English. I tutor this kid, elementary kid, English, and then also I babysit for different families in the Tokyo area. So yeah, I just babysit kids from time to time. So that's what I do.
Okay, so I'm a recipient of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs scholarship, the MOFA scholarship na Taiwan. So like, yung Palawan government and Taiwanese government got me through college. But I tried to teach English, and it was fun. It was a great learning experience. It just didn't really work out. Waya ayol sil amal clopation sa nila. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I think that's how I got by. Also, bank of mom and dad, shout out to them if they're listening.
Okay. What's your plan after you finish elementary undergrad? So what's your plan right after college? For you also, you're already pursuing your master's. So maybe what's your plan after you complete your master's?
So I think the first order of business is to complete my master's. That's kind of what I want to do now, complete my master's. And then I know right after I graduate, I want to come back to Palau. By choice, yes, and because PNSB requires us to come back to Palau. So I want to come back and I want to work. Yeah, that's my plan after college.
So if the CIP team is listening to me right now, my immediate plan right after college is to come back and hopefully work with my intern place right now. Is hopefully to come back and work with CIP.
Wow, this question everybody's asking right now, but because I'm a senior, I would like to apply to jobs in Japan first and see what happens. But because I'm on a visa, if I don't get a job, I have to leave. So I think I would come here and maybe work for a couple years, but I would like to work for a couple years and then do my master's. Yeah.
Nakakasiralas the awkward yang emori aktirulo sa timamira school mutat mura school milara masters but a few months have passed. Things have changed. My mind has also changed. I feel like my brain deserves a break from academics. So immediately after college, if possible employers are listening, Aktito vra school Mirbelau, and then I plan to take at least a year or maybe year and a half academic break before I siga school and then continue on to get my master's.
And you are graduating this summer, right? So they're graduating this summer. So if anyone wants to hire, but Ige has to go to CIP. All right. Well, kadokora maarsel muendra shorgid. Word of advice. Can you guys share advice to these young Palauans who are currently in Palau thinking about possibly going to school outside, that they're going to graduate last summer. Any advice for them?
So before leaving to college, when I was in high school, everyone had always told me, plan, plan, plan. You need to have a plan. And so that's exactly what I did. I planned out what university I was gonna go to post high school. And then I did the exact opposite. I did not follow my plan. So I think an advice I want to give everybody is it's okay to have a plan, and it's also okay to not follow that plan. Sometimes things don't fall in place for all the reasons, and at times we question a lot, but it's also important to do what you do and always trust God, because despite not having a plan, I did not plan to go to Taiwan at all. It was not even a thing I thought of ever. And overnight, I just decided, okay, let me go. So it's also okay to try new things. And even if your plan doesn't work out, something is going to work out for you eventually. Everything is always going to work out either way. So that's all I have to say.
So the question is, what advice or message can you give to young people who just graduate from high school and who are thinking of going to college or university? But I kind of want to break up that question and give advice to young people who just graduated from high school and are kind of still thinking of if university, if further education is a route that they want to pursue. And this is specifically to, young Palauans. Education is really expensive. Going to university is really expensive. But we have these opportunities that are offered to us, like PNSB, full scholarships. And it's a privilege that we have. And it's something that, we should really take up on that opportunity. Who don't have that they have to take out really big loans. They don't have the financial means to even pursue further education, even though that they want to. So like my advice is, I got even opportunity. So and again, obviously education is not everything. You can do other things with your life, but education really opens the doors to so many possibilities. And so, yeah, that's my advice. Just take the opportunity, young kids.
I keep mentioning my gap year, but I am really a big advocate for the gap year because it gave me the opportunity to think and to really stick to my decision. I would say you can take your time, but don't be aimless. You definitely have to have a goal. And for example, if you want to study in Japan, I really recommend that you study Japanese and not just hiragana. Like you need to be studying way more than that, like kanji basically. But yeah, I would say definitely have a goal if you're going to take a gap year. And also, I recommend doing an internship during your college years, especially if you don't know what you want to do for jobs after you graduate. I think this internship really gave me an idea of what I want to do very, very soon because I'll be graduating soon. Yeah, thank you.
Para school. Essentially, that's what it is. Like Ika said, education really opens the door to so many things. I'm always talking about how grateful I am for my chance to intern at the UN under PNSB and then also under the official United Nations internship program. Nga kami lang mo internal solely based on the fact that I am pursuing an education. And so I don't even have a degree yet, but the mere fact that mo nga school tegit ako super niya, mils ka legal mo internal lo panggal tel malulisot klol alat tel palulat. And so I think it's really important to just remind the young people, like though it's really scary, especially sa langal ram yagal balul way belaw yung kotel kathot daktan mo to badal mortel matlol balul ade mo roy da adabli, then you go far away from where you're most comfortable and you feel the most safe. And then sometimes you just have to give yourself a chance. You just have to take the risk and allow yourself the opportunity to learn new things and to see new things basically outside of your own home nation. But at the end of the journey, always remember to come home and help.
Yay! la message kami. So kadam araw labang lala shorgit. So I'm just gonna give you guys the opportunity to take this moment and recognize any people that have helped you throughout your educational journey.
So first and foremost, I want to thank God, who is the reason I have been able to complete my education and still I'm continuing. And then I want to thank my mom and my dad, who always support me and are always there for me every time I fall and every time I need anything. And then my friends, and then PNSB, thank you, Mori. And lastly, the Taiwan government for these scholarship opportunities given to us Palauan so we can pursue a higher education.
Yeah, so this list is long. So shout out Taiwan government, Palau government, just and PNSB as well. I'm grateful for these, opportunity to be even able to pursue higher education elsewhere. And then there my mom, my dad. If you guys are listening, I love you guys, and thank you for really, pushing me to do better and really encouraging me to, ige pamtov the mga school, mga degree ko. And as well as just to my friends, especially, I don't know if they're listening, but my classmates and friends in Taiwan, honestly, this degree has been really hard for me. I got 4 years. I'm degree in engineering, but really having that community of people just, helping one another and encouraging one another. It's, I really want to say, shout out to you guys. And the most important of all is a shout out to my husband who's sitting right over there for really encouraging me and really pushing me to again never give up.
So thank you to everybody at PNSB and Ministry of State Office for giving me this opportunity for my internship. And of course, thank you to my parents for always supporting me and supporting me through my decision to stay in Japan for university. And also thank you to my Auntie Oma and my Uncle Will for letting me stay with them while I'm doing my internship here.
Nakakatuntukan mo nga sulala Dios. I honestly feel mula sa nga lamla ka Dios sa egal tuiring yang atim lakal sa egal may kaningin egal form a 5 years nga kala Taiwan yang ara school. Second, I want to thank my mom and my dad. El tira malblol ama mi nga kamalblol di malungal murungal tel blol ara ko tatlo. Musika tele malakal school yang urior ang team musika tele mi kikadal ngalgal takam beila takam ngal kumoral mo mesa tel belula atem utilize your youth and then equip yourself with the good tools, right tools, and then come home and give back to the community. And so I want to thank my mom for always reminding me of that. I want to thank my dad, especially for being my biggest financial supporter. I also want to thank all my friends. Tirangal Garbela, Gimda nga Skura Taiwan, Marceli kan Artel Bela, Tirangal Mal Takalothin, Ditamal Plol Manglor Harango, Ratora School. Maklaad, honestly. I also want to thank PNSB for also being one of my biggest financial supporters. And then, of course, the Taiwanese government, who is the top of the food chain of my financial support, the Luul Magsirang School. I think lastly, I want to thank Sharon, because Sharon has been honestly so great, not just as a supervisor, but as an older, successful and well-established woman that I can look up to. She really fights for me in the office, and she fights for every opportunity that I can benefit from. So I really want to make a very special thank you shout out to Sharon.
Alright, sige, tama mangula mga lala shorty. Komral masaw, lang nasabihin may makatukaw story. Dito na kayo the recipient or tayo the Spring 2026 Award. The Spring and Tilibal makasailing makadeba breaks ra nga school. So, mostly tirayo del nga ra Asia, skura Asia, nasabihin in May. And we're lucky now si apply a receiver tel award if so mil mutan mamadinge kumakalam so del tel Palau fellowship award and sabi will be makadong officer mamal 4883608 dili ka sabi email nga kara PNSB internship@gmail Diragal so kading utelte alle mo mention na sige the Taiwan scholarship the sige the recipient ng itelte. So there's the ICDF and MOFA. The applications for those are currently open, and then MOFA mo close ra March 15, and then no wait, ICDF I think nga.
15.
Yeah, ICDF on March 15, MOFA lak alwid ng March 31st. Sige di ko obviously di mo tel confirm and di sige tak kuramit sar online. So but it's open now ngung ilam sumil apply or remove application na kami time and then everything's online. You can go online and do your application, and then you have to submit all the copies and meron obviously ra Palau National Scholarship Office. Obviously ra malocated at sila campus ra Palau High School. So if nga kami yung nakadiligiral to internship, anything regarding scholarship, please sa mamakadang our office 488-3608. Kung maral masulang, adim na ikagid, makuk next.
Tel dularing siringi at talkshow ar ada PNSB mamlam saul. Ang Friday, mukamukari klamakal badarang siya tarasang. Good day, mararukol listeners. Badarang siya sound del oltoy raong by Stallone.
Algo mo total se ande pero amo